Good morning, everyone. This is Costa Guerra coming to you live at this week's episode of Epic Share, where amazing concepts are worth sharing. Today, I'm coming to you alone. My other half, my beautiful wife, is in China on a business trip. It's a very important topic I want to talk about, so you got me to yourself all for the next roughly 11 minutes about a topic that is very close to my heart. We're talking about time management. And this is something I've been teaching, training. I've become a master of it. So over the next 10 minutes, I want to share that with you. Don't forget, these episodes take place every Thursday at 11 a.m. for 11 minutes, except for next Thursday, which we're taking off. I'm going to be out of town on a business trip as my wife is still going to be in China. But we'll come back to you the following week. So with that said, let's dive in to the topic of the week. It's called time management. Very important. Why is time management important? Because time management really is your life management. It's everything you do in life. It revolves around time. You only have so many hours in a day, and we're all blessed with the same time. Why is it some people utilize those a lot better than others? And that's what really we want to talk about. It's really time management, getting your life and your entire everything about your life under control. So we're going to dive into that. But before I give you some hints and techniques how to manage your time, we're going to talk about the benefits of what I'm teaching today, what it will do for you. So it's very important. Pay attention. You can watch this video. I would recommend a few times over to understand those. So first and foremost, we all have so many hours. I mean, think about it. We have about 2,000 hours we put in our day-to-day work. If you have a full-time job or if you work your business full-time, you're roughly looking at about 2,000, to be exact, 2,080 hours you put in a year. I'm going to show you how, by simply following some of these techniques, you can be more productive, simply as little as 2 hours a day. The techniques I'm going to show you. So if you take those 2 hours a day and multiply it by 5 days a week, we're not even talking about the weekends, it's Monday to Friday, and multiply that by 52 weeks, you're looking about roughly 520 hours. That's 520 hours. That's about a quarter of your entire year of work is basically condensed in 2 hours a day that allows you to be more productive. So think about that. If you have a job and you're able to be more productive by simply 2 hours a day, I promise you, your boss is going to see that and is going to grant you more benefits, higher salary, increase your wage, whatever that is. If you own the business and you're able to be more productive just by 2 hours a day, that is 25% increase in your revenue, in your income, in whatever you do. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. So it's very, very important because time is money. You've heard that time and time over. Time is money, time is precious, and once it's gone, it's expired. So you got to focus on utilizing every minute. Now, what is the benefit of it? Obviously, one of them is you get more energy. Very important. If you're productive, you have more energy. You have less stress because you're not running around stress about the time, running out of time. And last but not least, you have more time to enjoy with your family, with your loved ones. And that's, for me, has been really the true fruits of this labor that I have acquired over the past 20 years to master the time management of my life. So we're going to talk about that. Really, one of the first motivation is the pleasure that it gives you to be productive. You feel great about everything you do. Number two, time management. You have to understand it's a tool. It's a tool that allows you to go from point A to point B. Just like as a vehicle, same concept, is a point A to point B, sort of a vehicle to take you. With time management, allows you to do that, to be more productive, to be less stressed, to enjoy life. That's what really time management is about. And last but not least, it's a discipline to master your life. So time management is really a discipline that allows you to do that. So really, before I dive into the techniques of it, it really allows you to be, to have, and do anything you want. Once again, to be, to have, and do anything you want. So those are the things I really always I'm very focused on that because time management is such an important part of my success over the last 20 years. And if you look at the most successful individuals, CEOs to executives, they have at some point mastered that in their life. So now with that said, let's dive in. There are a number of things I'm going to talk about. Number one, you got to begin with the end in mind. The end in mind is very important. Number two is you got to revisit those plans on a daily. We're going to dive into that. And next one is getting tasks done every single day. Very important. Okay. So let's dive into into that. Begin with the end in mind. Why is that important? Because remember, you got to when you plan your day, you got to know what is important to be done at the sort of an end in sight concept. And the first thing you got to do is plan your days in advance. A lot of us make that mistake. We get up and we're just go as the day goes by and we just play it as it is. And then we realize whole day is gone. We haven't got things done. Why? Because we haven't planned it in advance. Having something ready to be able to dive in and start check marking as you go through. Next one is now you got the list. What is the most important? You got to prioritize it from the most important to the least important. Why? Because those most important, you got to get it done. It's time sensitive priorities. Least ones, you can always push it back to next day or the next week. Now, you got to also organize your tasks by location. Okay, what I mean with that is the most important ones, get the ones done the farthest, the ones closer to you, wherever you're located, your office, your home. You can get those done the next day again or the following day. But the farthest ones, you got to get them done soon. And then, most important one, assign a correct and a proper time frame for each task. So you're not overrunning each of them into the next task. And therefore, again, you're running out of time, causing you stress and other problems. So very important, beginning with the end in mind, following those. Next one is obviously when you plan those, and I always recommend those, you plan them the night before. Okay, while you have everything in your mind ready before you hit the bed, you want to make sure you check mark all of those. Next morning you wake up, you want to now look at what has any priority change, anything you need to remove or add to your task. That's very important. And then one of the things I always recommend, don't spend too much time on reading your emails or social medias, especially we are so engulfed with those now. So I highly recommend you spend less time on that, focusing on getting tasks done. And then the next one is, I always recommend, those of you that know me, for 14 years, I've been eating the same breakfast every single morning at around 6:30 in the morning. High energy breakfast gives me the boost I need throughout the day to get my tasks done the first thing in the morning. So very important. Now, you got this done. Now you got to go back in the same morning, prioritize your tasks by importance. Next one is obviously location, mapping it out, which ones you're going to go. You don't want to drive for 90 minutes, then come back, go, oh my God, the next task was only 15 minutes from that. Prioritize, map it out so you know which ones you want to get done. Very, very important. Also, be prepared. Have a plan B, plan C, plan D. What happens if somebody doesn't show up? What happens if you go somewhere, it's closed? You need to have a plan. I always do. I have a plan. If I go somewhere, if I have something happening and they're not ready, I have a plan B, plan C. I'm ready to make calls. If I'm standing in a bank, in a lineup in a bank, or if I'm at this restaurant or at the Starbucks waiting to pick up my coffee, I have a plan to do something to be productive every moment that I'm working during the day. So those are important tasks for you to understand. You know, this is for me very important because I've learned over the time of last 20 plus years how to master it. This is not a overnight success, rather over time. What I'm teaching you is obviously you can learn a lot more about it in my book, Organic Networker. There's an actual chapter about that called time management, and you'll learn a lot more on that in the book about that topic. But it's something I have acquired over a period of about 20 years. It's not something I learned overnight and I immediately applied it. So what I'm teaching you, I like you to take pieces here and there that suits your life, apply it to your life starting today, and you can see how fast this can change for you. So you really have to have a discipline. You got to be organized. think about what this could do. A simple 2 hours a day is really, you're looking at 2 hours a day. At the end of the year, it's about 500 hours. Think about it. If you're making simply $20 an hour, 500 hours is $10,000 extra revenue, income, salary, whatever it is. So these are very, very important. And then last but not least, discipline yourself to follow this. Make it a habit. In order for something to become a habit, you got to be doing it for 21 consecutive days. Take one or two of these things, what I'm teaching you, and make it a habit. So with that said, I know I covered a lot. Remember, we only have 11 minutes. And by the way, this show takes place every Thursday at 11 a.m. for 11 minutes. Following next week, actually, I'm going to be out of town. My wife will still going to be in China, so there'll be no show. The following week after that, we'll be back and we're going to dive in again. Don't forget to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and all the other social media channels. You can follow us. You'll see what we're doing. With that, have a fantastic day.